Have you ever wondered what it feels like to lose your own voice? No, not your physical voice, but the voice of your ancestors, the language, the songs, the stories whispered around old hearts. What happens when the laughter of old folks, speaking their mother tongue, the rhythm of proverbs, the wisdom of generations begin to fade from memory? Today, we explore something vital, something alive, something at risk: the Igbo language, culture, and identity. This is not a lecture. This is a journey back to the heart of a people. That is why you see, I am in my hometown where I have brought my children to master the speaking of our own version of the Igbo language. Let's start with a simple truth. Culture is not just about festival, dances, or clothes. Culture is memory, identity, and a sense of belonging. Ask an Igbo person, what do you feel when you hear Igbo proverbs like Egbe Belu, Ugo Belu? They will say we Ndi Igbo believe that it is right for the eagle to perch and for the kites to also have a space to perch. Ask them what it means. Nahara pondo paako, onyilu erie. They will say when you abandon life and begin to chase wealth, your enemies will enjoy the wealth. But it is not usually about ego and kite. It is not usually about wealth and death. It is something deeper. The Igbo language proverbs confer a knowledge that goes beyond mere words that are used to convey the knowledge. There is a warmth, there's security, there's a wisdom passed down like precious seeds. If these seeds are planted, of course, there must be water. But here is a challenge. As Igbo people embrace global life, schools, new jobs, new languages, something beautiful is gradually slipping away from our hands. Not so fast, but very slowly, like sand through the fingers. You will not understand that it is slipping away. You may never do until it has completely left your hands. Let me tell you a story. There was an old man named Wanko in a village called Onitsha. He was known for one thing: his storytelling. His children would gather around him. That time, of course, there was no phones, no screens, just human beings interacting and exchanging knowledge. He will usually start with the usual Igbo way of starting stories. Chakpi, war, chakpi, war. Nkita nyara akpa. The children will respond, nsi agwo n'ọhịa. He will further tell them, ọhịa ogwu mara ọkụkọ. They will respond, anaghị epio epio. He will further go on. O nwere akụkọ m ga-akọrọ unu, and they will respond, kọọrọ anyị ka obi dị anyị ụtọ. Then he will begin the story. That is the Igbo way of starting a story. In western parts of Igbo land, they will say, Eyeni mo nonzo, and you will respond, Igwa ole, and he will respond again, Efita. Then you go, Ntiyela yoye. It simply explains, Eyeni mo nonzo means I present white chalk. It is believed that the storyteller is a dibia. So the story he is going to tell is something that will teach you wisdom. So if he says, I give you white chalk, you respond, Igwaole, may your medicine be efficacious. That is, may your stories impact wisdom on us. And then when he says Efeta, time for leisure stories, the children respond, Nte, yela yoye. It means may our ears be wide open. Then he begins the story. With this, he is sure that he has captured the attention of the people whom are going to listen to the story. For Mr. Nwankwo, the storyteller, he spoke Igbo the way music feels to the bones. One day, his grandchildren came visiting and asked, Grandpa, why do you speak Igbo like that? It's so different from what we learn in school. He smiled and responded to them saying, My children, there is Igbo in the heart, and that, my dear children, is the real Igbo. His words weren't just language, They were memory. They carried with them years upon years of emotion. He puts emotion into every word he speaks. But today, Nwankwo's grandchildren, who even learned Igbo in school, now speak more of English than Igbo. Not because they don't love their tongue, but because the world taught them to forget Igbo and embrace another person's language. Not just the language, but the culture and religion of another people. Therefore, the language began to mean little or nothing to them. Now, let's be honest. Modern life, with its jobs, ambitions, apps, exams, doesn't always allow you space to talk about culture. Igbo parents often say to their kids, please, speak English. You will succeed with English. As someone once said, Ejigbo ejebe, English for jobs, English for exams, English everywhere. But here is the paradox. You can speak English and still lose your soul's language. You can speak English and still lose your culture. Language isn't just words. No. Anytime you speak your language, you portray your worldview, your identity, and your sense of belonging. Think about this. A proverb isn't just a sentence. It is history. A greeting isn't just a greeting. It tells you a story. It tells you where this person who just greeted you comes from and how they are related to you. It tells you about their upbringing. A song is not just melody. It is ancestral. It tells a story about a people. It holds thousands of years of memory. When a language fades, a world fades. When a language fades, a people's ideology, concept, way of life fades away with it. When a language dies, an ideology, thousands of years of knowledge, memory, and wisdom dies with it. But here is the good news. People are waking up, young and old people, local or in diaspora. Language classes are being held for children. Storytelling nights are being held for children. Cultural books and comics are being sold. Books in Igbo language are going viral. Drama, plays, skits on social media in Igbo language are going viral. In some places, churches now preach or conduct sermon or mass, depending on which congregation it is, in Igbo language. In some places, churches now preach completely in Igbo and have an interpreter interpreting it in English. English must not replace the Igbo language. Schools are even creating bilingual programs because culture isn't an obstacle. It is an asset. Nobody should treat culture as if it is an obstacle or as if it is mundane or it is something to be brushed away or it is something to be swept under the carpet. Every time a child learns Igbo proverb, that child imbibes in him knowledge or sings Igbo songs. A piece of tradition comes back to life through that song. I am in my hometown. There are songs I will sing. I will even have goosebumps. Songs like Anyị bụkwanụ ndị egwu ndị oboloko, anyị jaa ya nụa, egwu adegbudo, ndị obodo ayo, anyị tisịa na egwu na anyị ga-amụlụ nwa, anyị mụsịa nwa na ngidi male ego akwa. This isn't only about elders or teachers. It is about you. Yes, you listening to me right now. You may think, why is he referring to me? I am not a linguist. I don't write books. And I am just one person. Yes, I am referring to you. Culture grows by what one person does every day. What are you doing every day to ensure that the Igbo culture, the Igbo language is sustained? Your small acts every day matter a whole lot. It influences your family. Speak Igbo with your siblings. Na solo mugi Igbo. Na solo munnegi Igbo. Teach a greeting to a friend. Share a proverb. Share a proverb with meaning. Celebrate the Igbo stories online. Pass down songs to younger generations. Pass down songs to your younger cousins. Culture and tradition doesn't live in museums. Culture lives in where people laugh, talk, sing, and remember it. Culture lives in the people. It is a way of life of a people. You must bring that way of life to your everyday existence. Now, here is the challenge. Not a heavy burden, just a calling. You are encouraged to learn one Igbo phrase every day. If you already know Igbo and you are proficient, why not teach one Igbo phrase or one Igbo proverb every day? Use it, share it, leave it. Start here under the comment section. Let me see a strong Igbo proverb. Kedu? You answer. Ebe ka isi? Where are you from? Anyị na-aga. Continue teaching the Igbo language and Igbo proverbs, and you will discover that when you teach it, you aren't just teaching words. You are teaching identity. You are teaching a people about yourself, and you are becoming proud and dignified to be associated with that culture. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will encourage you to please encourage us by liking this video, sharing it, even giving us super thanks if you can. If you are not yet a subscriber, kindly subscribe to our channel. I will look forward to seeing you in my subsequent videos. My name once again is Onwade Ngozi Chukwuka Fortune. And this is Enuane Cultural Forum. See you in our next videos. Bye!
Enuane.